What is real estate SEO? All right. I get asked this question all the time, and it is wildly misunderstood. So first of all, search engine optimization, for the sake of this conversation, is going to be about Google. Google handles somewhere between 92 and 95% of all intent-based searches that relate to real estate in the United States. And about the same amount in North America and Canada. And if you take a look at it globally, it's something like 78%. So if you're talking about Google, people usually think that a search like this one, like let's just do closing costs, um, Carlsbad, which is a coastal city here in LA. So this is a traditional search result. You get something like this on the top of the page. This is one of our clients. And people consider this to be SEO, and indeed it is. It's traditional SEO, it's traditional blogging. Um, it's how search engine got its start. It's being able to find articles that connect to your business, your real estate business, and then theoretically people read these articles and they connect into your brand and you can make some money. And that still works, but it's far and away not what real estate SEO is about exclusively. There's a lot of language about around SEO that has started to segment, and realtors have gotten very confused. I personally consider if you're going to be a search engine optimization expert operating in the US, then you should probably understand how all the pieces of Google work, right? Any piece of Google that's going to affect a real estate professional, big or small, you should probably know how it works. So it's not just this. As a matter of fact, this is one of the slowest ways for a real estate agent to make a profit off SEO, because typically speaking, um, even if you're very good at it, and I'm very good at it, like, and you get, like, I have a brokerage located in Fairhope, Alabama. So we do the search Fairhope, Alabama, and we see that my client here, Local Property Inc., is on the first page for the name of the city that they consider to be their primary market. That's great. It's a blog post that got them onto the first page. The blog post is probably not, so somebody's doing some general research on Fairhope, and you get to introduce your brand through the blog post by educating somebody about the city of Fairhope. And absolutely positively, in a certain small set of circumstances, it drives 3,000 people to the site each month. And in a very small set of circumstances, you're going to have people call you off this blog. But for the most part, Fairhope, Alabama is a very broad, very low intent-based search for people that are deep in the real estate purchasing process. So this traditional search result is almost a branding search result. You get to introduce them to your brand, perhaps capture their interest, move them through the website, get them into searching for properties, and somewhere in there they may call you, may use your phone number, they may message you, but definitely the introduction is there, and you perhaps start to own the client relationship. That's traditional SEO. There is other forms of SEO that impact your income in much greater and more direct ways. Okay? So Google owns YouTube. While the algorithm that runs YouTube is slightly different, there are pieces of the search algorithm inside YouTube that operate exactly the same as the search algorithm that runs this search engine. So really, if you know one, you at least know a percentage of another. So the second type of SEO, real estate SEO, is going to end up being YouTube. So if we go to, and interestingly enough, what a lot of people may not be aware of is that Google is still figuring out ways to integrate YouTube into these traditional search results. Usually they're starting to peg when people are doing deeper amounts of research and would like to see a video like this video carousel here. So even though we've done a search on a broad territory, Aliana, Texas, we're getting a traditional search result, but there's some videos here. So this is one that we optimized. Again, that's real estate SEO services. That's a service that you can purchase that could directly impact your income. Now, the thing about video is that it falls within that SEO category, but it's higher intent.
Hulu Ad
People
Manager
who
is the
watch these
easy way for
videos,
businesses
and
like
most of
yours to
you
advertise on Hulu.
have started to hear or hearing from me over and over again how valuable video is. What you
Hey,
don't hear a
everyone.
lot of is there really skill, talent required beyond creating the video in order to get views to the video? Now, there are 9 things that we do. Do you see this plugin here? And we have like it says SEO score, 74 of 100. For me as a real estate SEO expert, I absolutely consider a skill set within YouTube to be a very relevant SEO skill set that realtors should be paying attention to. And the 9 things that we do with the video is what's driven the vast majority of the searches to this particular video. So the realtor followed kind of like a script, a thing. You do a neighborhood tour, blah, blah, blah. The content is good. In other words, it answers questions. It's very useful to the people who are watching the video. Honestly, you could do a video at a desk. You do a brand ambassador video. There's many different types of videos that you can do. But once they're done, you spend 5 minutes filming it and you spend 3 hours optimizing it. Video is one of my favorite things to talk about because there's so many different things you can do to a video to get more views to it. And it's incredibly relevant in terms of what you should be paying attention to. Should you consider it as a strategy? This particular realtor has fired Zillow and made millions upon millions of dollars in sales only using video. So SEOing your videos, which is really just an SEO skill set, is something that's very important, and it would go along with like real estate SEO services. It would go along with the general broader term of real estate SEO and what is that or what could that mean to you, the person maybe purchasing services or trying to understand SEO, because it does get very confusing. So this is certainly an example. And when we go down here, so that you understand what is an SEO supposed to do in the case of optimizing YouTube videos? Well, they're supposed to do this, right? These are all searches that relate to Aliana. Each one might very well not necessarily garner like a lot of views, but when you are dominating for every search related to a territory and you're on the first, remember we got here from being on a primary Google search. So we're on the first page of Google. We're also ranking very well inside YouTube, number 2, number 3, Aliana Realtor, Aliana Texas Real Estate, Aliana Neighborhood. Anybody doing any of these searches is going to find this video positioned very well to capture their attention. And there's this recording this tonight is not about how we do it. It's just trying to explain to you what real estate SEO really is in 2022. So that's another way that you could look at real estate SEO. Now, there's 4 ultimate things that are really, I think, are impactful about being a real estate SEO expert. This is one. This is number 2. Traditional search is number 1. Can you get found there? Now, number 3, and this is the hottest topic that I know of inside real estate, is you do a search like Fort Bend Realtor or Realtors. You add the S. You get this. So you've got paid, which is more of like an SEM or PPC specialty. It's like direct marketer. You have a budget, you hire me an advertising guy. I know how to get you the best opportunity placed here, which honestly most people haven't figured out how to do the hyperlocal search. An SEO guy who's focused on organic is going to do something more like this. where we get you in the top 3 organic non-paid results. Okay, that is another SEO skill. Here's my client on the first page. It is another way to understand a piece, and I just deleted the S, did Realtor, we're number 1 for that. So there's definitely things that you can do to optimize a hyperlocal profile so that it gets found. Now, interestingly enough, when it comes to SEO skill sets, that affect real estate, this is actually one that operates very differently than the rest of Google. There's only one core part of the algorithm that affects hyperlocal. It's the one core part of the algorithm that very few of the SEO experts, quote unquote, that I've run across understand impacts local. But the things that everybody does actually know and commonly talk about, like NAPs, name, address, phone number, and how many reviews you have, the quality of those reviews, those things many people talk about. There's also some engagement elements that Google has applied to hyperlocal. So they are starting to look at how engaged is your user base to content that you produce and things of that nature. Everything that I'm mentioning here is what, in theory, an SEO expert who's saying that they specialize in real estate should understand. They should know that inherently. Then they should have some ideas about how they could optimize this profile for you. Now, it goes well beyond keywords or properly tagging the profile. It's much more that updating. I've seen a lot of people starting to offer services where they update your Google My Business profile for you. Unfortunately, that hasn't so far proven to really move the needle because not a lot of people are clicking on your profile and then heading into your content. Most people are still treating these profiles very similar to the way they would treat the phone book, with the exception that they click on the reviews. So if they click on this at all, what they're getting lost in is they're gonna go here and they're gonna click on your reviews. Okay, which is also uh, the top call to action. So they're gonna click on the reviews. They're rarely drifting down here to review your content, which would be impactful if they actually did it, but they typically don't. So that's a skill set as it relates to hyperlocal. Now, what's the fourth? Okay, bet everybody's struggling to think what I might call the fourth optimizable um, real estate SEO strategy. And the fourth one is actually the image library, which is crazy to me that realtors don't realize how impactful it can be. So if we do Hamilton Mills, Georgia, which is a popular golf course community, okay, and we do images. So we go all the way over here. Now, interestingly enough, and I don't know if this is true anymore, but a couple years ago, the number 2 search engine in the world, everybody was always saying, oh, it was YouTube, it was YouTube. And actually, for a while, it's been a battle between the image library and YouTube. So far more people are in here looking at images and making decisions about where they want to go based on these images than I think the public realizes. So this particular client of mine, which is Atlanta Dream Living, you can see that we own the image packs. Now this is a dramatic example. I don't have clients that necessarily own the entire first few, 2 or 3 lines of the image library. But it should be no surprise, based on this kind of wild popularity with these images, that we get about 20% of our traffic. We get 500, 600 people coming into this website strictly off images. And these images, which are being based on, as you can see, homes, examples of real estate, they're medium to high intent. So not optimizing for images or not taking advantage of here's what is something that I oftentimes communicate to the world at large. Most real estate professionals have to take pictures of properties. It's part of your job. You're taking images for wherever you're going to upload, MLS, Zillow, however you do it, but most likely you're either taking these pictures yourself or you're hiring somebody and you're paying the money. Now, once you take the image, it's yours. You own it. Like it's your image. So, um, why you wouldn't leverage that on a real estate website where you might be able to just draw in an extra 10%? Like, and much more importantly than that, educate your audience about what traditional or typical homes look like in a particular neighborhood. Like, let's say we just do neighborhood title and then 7, 8 examples of homes that you've sold in the past. But they're just examples of the homes. You're not trying to say these listings are for sale. You're merely saying these are examples of homes that are in this area. Why that doesn't occur to people to do that except for listings like down here is a mystery to me. And why do I say that? Because you are not guaranteed at every single like moment that all the relevant examples of homes that are in a particular area might be represented by listings, especially not in the market that we're in right now in 2022. So it would behoove you to go through here and make sure that you can see, like one of the things I like about Hamilton Mills and using it as an example is this and this photo are very similar, just different lighting. But this photo and this photo are very different. And if you start going down here, while there is some similarities, color, the particular shot from the back instead of the front, they make a very big difference. You are not necessarily represented very well by only listings, nor are you represented very well by the standard shot that is typically presented on these listings by the IDX. Everybody's always uploading a front shot of the home as their first original image, whereas when you're doing a carousel like this, you have an opportunity to do a lot of variable images. This page, which I produced, God, years ago, still ranks in the search engines, and I strongly believe that one of the main reasons it does is that you get a complete and diverse look at this particular community through the photo carousel. People really underestimate the power of images, how much traffic they can draw, how high intent that traffic can be back to the site. It's just a matter of giving somebody a reasonable variety and trying to answer their questions about what this area might look like through imagery. So that's what real estate SEO is to me. So when I say I am a real estate SEO expert, what I'm declaring to the world at large is that I think that I know most, if not all, of the pieces of Google that would positively impact a real estate agent or professional or broker's business. So it's really important. I've been getting a lot of questions about this lately. For some reason, people don't realize that all these different sections of Google are just real estate SEO. That's what they are. So I hope you found this video helpful. Thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to get in front of more content like this. Catch you next time.